You got your $2. You got your dream. Tonight's Powerball, now the second largest lottery jackpot in history, $1.8 billion. The Mets beat the Reds. Yankees lost to the Blue Jays. Warm and humid this morning. Then we will see afternoon and evening thunderstorms. Going to reach a high of 85 today at some point. Winds news time, 11:41. Let's get you where you need to go. Here's Andre Farrow.
Big delays in New Jersey. If you're traveling on the Eastern Spur north of Route 3 and heading up towards 46, you'll need some extra time. It's all volume. Inbound George Washington Bridge, here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. 20 minutes in, 25 minutes out. All those cross Bronx delays on the northbound Egan heading up towards the 3rd Avenue Bridge is slow in the Bronx, and the Harlem River Drive delays aren't good. North of the McCombs Dam Bridge, you'll be tapping the brakes. If you're coming in with the southbound FDR, you're going to be slow, at least up to 96th Street. Then it'll open up for you. The West Side Highway looks pretty good, except for a northbound delay by 96th Street. Lincoln Tunnel over the Holland, you'll save about 15 minutes on both sides. Big delays in Brooklyn, westbound BQE Flushing Avenue and across the Kosciuszko, and the eastbound belt in Brooklyn, bumper to bumper from Flatbush Avenue almost all the way to Cross Bay Boulevard. Don't even use the Van Wyck. That's terrible. Atlantic Avenue to the Q, and the eastbound side of the Grand Central from Jewel Avenue to the Q in Queens, bumper to bumper. Andre Farrow, 1010 wins at 92.3 FM.
Labor Day parade, Yankees game, iffy weather.
We've had a return to more summer-like weather here, and that's going to be sticking around for the parade today. It's going to be warm and humid with highs in the middle 80s, but then clouds are going to be moving in as we go through the day, and we're looking for some stronger thunderstorms to arrive as well. Those will move in between 2 and 5 p.m., bringing a risk for flooding downpours and damaging winds as well.
AccuWeather's Heather Zaire, the rain holding out for the Labor Day parade, which is in full swing.
I think it's going to be very festive. Folks are fired up. Workers are being faced with, attacks across the country. And, people need to fight back against that.
Sean Mackel, the coordinator of the New York City Labor Day Parade, talking to 1010 Wins. It is the country's oldest and largest. Mayor Eric Adams marching. Governor Kathy Hochul is there. Senator Bernie Sanders as well. The mayoral candidates, including Adams and Zoran Mamdani, Andrew Cuomo, Curtis Lewa, all out there as well. The parade running from the 40s up to the 60s. So Fifth Avenue's closed. We got you up to date in traffic. We'll check that in just a bit. Every 10 minutes on the ones, we do that. A lot of chatter about Mayor Adams. Rumors that he's considering dropping out of the mayoral race, but he says no.
The mayor spoke as if to say to New Yorkers, it's you and me versus them.
I have two spoiled brats running for mayor. They were born with silver spoons in their mouths, not like working class New Yorkers. I'm a working class New Yorker. They are not like us.
He also called Cuomo a liar and a snake. But Adams isn't tuning out the haters.
I hear the polls, I hear the comments, I hear the pundits, but those are the same polls that stated 8 weeks out that Andrew Cuomo was up by 36 points.
There was almost a plea for support in his voice.
This is such a pivotal and important period, and we have to get it right.
Mac Rosenberg, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM at Gracie Mansion.
Zoran Mamdani appearing on CNN's Newsnight with Abby Phillip last night. He called the mayor's press conference there a distraction.
All of it distracts from the fact that 1 in 4 New Yorkers are living in poverty in this city, and so often their concerns, their welfare has been secondary to the interests of these so-called leaders in trying to figure out their own futures.
The New York Times reported close advisors to President Trump have discussed nominating Adams for the role of ambassador to Saudi Arabia if he were to drop out of the race for mayor. Time now to get an update on sports.
We begin with some sad news. Davey Johnson, who managed the Mets to the World Series championship, passed away Friday night at the age of 82. He is the winningest manager in Mets history with 595 wins. Johnson also went on to manage the Orioles, Reds, Nationals, and Dodgers. The Mets look to follow up on their 5-4 win last night when they take on the Reds again tonight in Cincinnati. The Mets lead the Giants by 4 games for the last National League wildcard spot. And Mets manager Carlos Mendoza's team now leads the Reds by 6 games.
We know they're good. That's a good team there. There's a reason why they're in the fight. But at the end of the day, we got to control the things that we need to control. We got to take care of business. We can't be worrying about who's behind us, who's in front of us. At the end of the day, like I said, we got to go out there and get the job done. I'm glad we were able to do that. We got to, sleep on it now, and, we got another one tomorrow.
Which is tonight, pitching matchup Jonah Tong against Brady Singer. Coverage on Odyssey Mets Radio at 6, first pitch at 6:40. The Yankees take on the Blue Jays again this afternoon in the Bronx. Last night's 7-1 loss dropped the Bombers 4 games back of the first-place Blue Jays in the American League East. The pitching matchup, Chris Bassett against Luis Gil. Coverage on WFAN at 12:25, first pitch at 1:05. College football, Rutgers hosts Miami, Ohio. Coverage on WFAN FM at 3 o'clock, kickoff at 3:30. The U.S. Open Women's Final is on tap today at 4 o'clock. Number 1 seed Aryna Sabalenka against number 8 seed Amanda Anisimova. From the WFAN Sports Desk, I'm Peter Schwartz.
A Harlem man just found out he's been overpaying his rent for 20 years. Richard Carroll Jr. says he had no idea his apartment was rent stabilized when he moved in back in 2004. He only found out when new owners tried to have him evicted. And that's when he learned he was paying more than $1,000 extra a month. $1,000 extra every month for 20 years. Now, the courts agreed he couldn't be evicted, and while he may not see a refund for all those overpayments, he is hoping the new owners will set a lower rent for him. One of the young men who sparked a civil rights protest in Greensboro, North Carolina, when he and his classmates sat at a segregated lunch counter in a Woolworth's, has died. A previous interview with 1010 Wins, Joseph McNeil told us how it all unfolded.
I ordered apple pie and coffee, and they told us, we're not going to serve you boys. We told the white waitress we intended to sit there until they did serve us.
And they did. 6 months after the initial sit-in, which continued with hundreds of others showing up every day demanding service, Woolworths desegregated their lunch counter and offered service to everyone. Joseph McNeil died Thursday in Port Jefferson, New York. He was 83. President Trump reportedly looking to take over the 9/11 Museum in Lower Manhattan. The New York Times reports Trump would have the federal government take control of the site. Governor Hochul putting out a statement saying Trump's control of the museum is contrary to his actions, noting he recently slashed funding for the World Trade Center health program that cares for survivors and first responders. Another city slamming a federal response. Maryland leaders responding to Trump's threat to send the National Guard into Baltimore.
We do not need an occupation.
Governor Westmore says the state is deploying more of its own law enforcement to the city to further bring down crime, pushing back against the president.
We do not need people putting in performative and theatrical resources because they do not care about the actual results that they're trying to hope for.
Mayor Brandon Scott echoed the governor's message.
We do not need troops on our streets, but we do need folks who want to be at the table and recognize that people in Baltimore are humans, that our young people aren't born to be criminals.
That is correspondent Stacey Lynn. President Trump on Friday denying knowing anything about the top secret SEAL Team 6 mission into North Korea that was reported to have happened during his first administration. The New York Times had the story.
The Times saying officials told them it is not clear if North Korea ever found out about this classified mission. President Trump asked about the reported mission.
I know nothing about it.
Can you confirm that it happened?
I don't know anything about it. I'm hearing it now for the first time.
North Korea's president met with President Trump just weeks after the failed SEAL Team 6 mission face-to-face in Vietnam. Again, likely not knowing the U.S. trying to plant a listening device on North Korean soil.
Yeah, the paper reports the mission had to be aborted after the SEALs killed a group of unarmed fishermen. That was correspondent Martha Raddat. Coming up, do you have your $2 and your dream? We're talking Powerball in just a moment. But first, Wins News Time 11:51. Let's get you where you need to go. Here's Andre Farrow.
Heavy delays in New Jersey. If you're traveling on the northbound side of the Garden State Parkway, exit 150. It's roadwork slowing you down heading up towards Route 3. You're going to need that extra time. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. 25 minutes in at the George Washington Bridge, 30 minutes outbound with the Cross Bronx delays. If you're using the Lincoln Tunnel, 10 minutes round trip, and the Holland Tunnel is going to cost you 15 on both sides. In Brooklyn, look out for big delays on the westbound side of the Kosciuszko heading towards the Williamsburg and heading towards Flushing Avenue. The eastbound Belt Parkway has a stall right around Flatbush Avenue, and you're heavy all the way eastbound to Cross Bay Boulevard. In Connecticut, look out for slowdowns southbound 95 into Stamford. In Westchester, we're busy. Northbound Hutch over by Mamaroneck Avenue. Here's what we see on Long Island's Big Three. Westbound delays on the LIE by Glen Cove Road. Eastbound, westbound Southern State Parkway slow between Eagle Avenue and the Wantagh. The Northern is the best of the bunch. Andre Farrow, 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM.
And now the AccuWeather 4-day forecast meteorologist Heather Zare.
We really are looking at nice weather across the area here so far this morning. We've had some high clouds around that have dimmed the sun a little bit, but overall it's been nice, feeling rather summer-like with warmth and humidity. We're topping out at 85 for this afternoon. All of that before storms catch up with us. That'll be in the middle and later part of the afternoon. For the city itself, it's going to be late afternoon before they arrive. Once they do, they can bring flooding downpours and damaging winds. We're also looking at a risk early to mid-afternoon for an isolated isolated tornado north of the city. All of these storms diminish this evening, leaving rain at times for tonight, low about 63. And then the rain is going to linger into tomorrow morning. We'll try to get some sun back for the end of the day, especially from the city on north and west. Otherwise, it's cooler and less humid with a high of 71. Sunshine is going to follow for Monday and Tuesday. We'll have low humidity and highs in the low to mid 70s. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zare on New York's weather station, 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
All right, so let's talk about the money. You and me both, Callaway. Every time I see somebody still hasn't won the Powerball, I sing this song in my head, so why not give it to you as an earworm as well. Powerball, $1.8 billion tonight. Cash value of $826.4 million. It is the second largest jackpot, lottery jackpot in U.S. history. The only other one bigger than that was back in 2022. It was a $2.04 billion Powerball. Well, negligible difference there. 1.8 tonight. Tickets to $2. You head out with your $2 and your dream. We'll bring you the numbers when they are drawn a bit later tonight, right around 11 o'clock. A nice day for breakfast lovers. Ooh, listen to that bacon sizzle. It is International Bacon Day. A little history on these salty strips of deliciousness for you. Bacon was invented in the year 1500 BC. Ancient Chinese people used salt to preserve pork fat, which evolved into bacon. Bacon as we know it today, first served in the 17th century. It went corporate in 1924. That's when Oscar Mayer patented pre-sliced and packaged refrigerated bacon. No matter how you celebrate, whether you're celebrating with a bacon, egg, and cheese, on a salt bagel, or a bacon martini, because yes, those exist as well. Hope you enjoy International Bacon Day. The largest LGBTQ plus film festival, New Fest, is stepping in after a queer film festival in Phoenix had to shut down because of a federal directive. New Fest runs in New York, October 9th through 21st. The Desperado Film Festival in Arizona had to be scrapped because it was held on a campus of a college. It ran afoul of the Trump executive order that targeted DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And that's where New Fest stepped in. Instead of the $95 virtual pass, they said this year they will waive that fee for Arizona residents. You can check out newfest.org if you'd like some more information on that. We'll get you some more information right now on Bloomberg Money Watch.
A big moment in Academy Awards history was the first TV broadcast of the ceremony in 1953.
Isn't it exciting to know that a lot of these glamorous stars are going to be in your homes tonight?
Bob Hope emceed on NBC.
All over America, housewives are turning to their husbands and saying, "Put on your shirt, Joan Crawford is coming."
Disney-owned ABC has been the Oscars TV home since 1971, but the rights after 2028 are up for grabs. I'm Tracy Jonke, Bloomberg Money Watch on 1010 Winds at 92.3 FM.
WINS, WINS-FM in HD1 New York. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Well, here's a fun fact for you. Did you know that more people get their news from 1010 Winds than from any other radio station in the nation? Truth. Chris Roush is at the editor's desk. Good morning. I'm Brian Britton.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Winds at 92.3 FM, New York.
Good afternoon, 79 degrees, a little bit of sunshine at 12 o'clock. I'm Donna Vaughn, and here's what's happening. The city's annual Labor Day parade on the move right now in Midtown. The annual celebration of New York's workforce will go live to the parade route. A man is dead after an exchange of gunfire with police in Jersey City. The state attorney general is now investigating. Someone is recovering from the West Nile virus on Long Island, the first case of the year so far in Suffolk or Nassau. Israel's expanded operation in Gaza City now targeting high-rise buildings, civilians being warned to evacuate. And Lady Gaga on Long Island tomorrow night in town to perform at the annual Video Music Awards. A day game for the Yankees against Toronto. First pitch 1:05 p.m. The Mets don't play until tonight. They're visiting the Reds. Also this afternoon, the women's singles final at the U.S. Open. AccuWeather says high 85 and muggy today as any sun makes way for a couple of thunderstorms. Winds News Time at 12:01. Now let's get you where you need to go. Here is Andre Farrow.
And we have big issues in Brooklyn if you're traveling eastbound on the Belt Parkway from Knapp Street all the way to Cross Bay Boulevard. It's a big parking lot. We have a stall eastbound by Flatbush Avenue slowing you down, really not helping matters. And the westbound BQE is terrible from the Williamsburg all the way to Flushing Avenue and passing the Brooklyn Bridge. There's extra road work eastbound over by Atlantic Avenue, and that's causing one extra big, gigantic headache. If you're traveling on the westbound LIE, heading towards Van Dam and the Midtown Tunnel, that's also slow. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Inbound George Washington Bridge, 25 minutes. Outbound's going to cost you about the same. The Lincoln Tunnel looks better than the Holland, 15 minutes better on both sides. You're going to need about 15 at the Holland Tunnel round trip. If you're traveling on the western spur in New Jersey, look out for slowdowns heading up towards the Vince Lombardi, passing MetLife Stadium. Northbound Garden State Parkway is very heavy heading up towards Route 3. It's all road work related. On Long Island, here's what we see on Long Island's Big 3. Eastbound Southern, Eagle Avenue to the Wantagh is slow, but the LIE and Northern State Parkway seem to be moving okay. Mondre Ferro, 1010 wins at 92.3 FM.
Well, enjoy this afternoon.